Hi, how do you use the 3-day marathon videos which I live streamed in this last weekend? Because those videos are big in length, those are 12 in number, and if you add up the watch time, it would be roughly around 20 to 21 hours in total. So, how do you plan to use them? Now, before you think about how to use it, or maybe it might not be useful to you, let's understand why I made those videos and what went into those videos. Now, obviously, if the content is of 20 hours long duration over the spread of just 3 days, it means that a lot of time has been invested into it. And I only solved mathematics in those videos. And to tell you the truth about this, that I have been out of practice from entrance examination mathematics for the last 2 to 3 years, and that is why I had to do a bit of modification to the way I'm solving the problems. So how should you think about these videos? Now, I made those videos with the aim to tell you what goes inside my head when I solve a problem. Now, that is something which is not the optimal way to prepare for an exam, but it is something like this. Let me give you an example. There was a very famous painter, and that painter was sitting in a cafe and he drew some kind of a very rough doodle, and after doodling it, he just crumpled the paper and threw it in the dustbin. Now, there was a lady there. She ran to the dustbin and picked it up and just asked, "Can I take this painting or doodle?" He said, $1,000. The lady said, "But you threw it already and you just took around 10 minutes to doodle it." He said, "It is the output of more than 20 years, and the level of that doodle is because I have spent more than 20 years into that kind of an art. Though I'm out of practice, I have spent a lot of my time practicing maths numericals and physics numericals, chemistry numericals, economics numericals, and all these subjects have maths embedded into it. Even statistics, for that matter, is maths only. So with that understanding, you can have a peek into what is the sum total of my experience. Now that is kind of a good asset for you. Now definitely the questions which I picked were something which looked easy to me or which looked inviting to me. Now the best way to use that would be to open up that video, whichever video you want to open up, and just refer to the question which I am solving. Now when you are solving that question along with me on that video, do not look at the solution immediately what I'm doing, right? You can pause the video at the point when I'm starting to describe the problem, or I'm starting to solve the problem, and just give it a try. And when you are done, just check how I have done. Because if I have made that solution in a different way and your solution in a different way, immediately you have two solutions. But let's say you are having the same solution as my solution, so definitely now it gives you another task, that in the next iteration you have to solve it in a different way. Because what happens is, whenever I solve a problem, if I solve a problem 10 times, it is highly likely that I might solve it in 3 different ways, because I generally do not remember the methods for every problem, but it is something which is built onto my memory, right? So sometimes some other problem's solution gets mixed with the current problem solution, and I get a different kind of an approach. Now that is something which is beneficial for you guys, and that is why these 12 videos spanning 20 hours of duration is something which is highly beneficial for you, and you will never get such an asset in anywhere. Not in YouTube, not in Vimeo, not in TikTok, not in Twitter, not in Instagram, not anywhere. No teacher even would like to give you that peek into his or her brain and solve the problem along with you, because teachers generally tend to prepare before a lecture. And I'm reminded of a very powerful quote over here, that a good teacher does not need to prepare before a class, but he still prepares for it. And a mediocre teacher generally should prepare before a class, but he does not. So you can call me a mediocre teacher, but I am actually not a teacher. I am just someone who has solved a lot of mathematics problems and just wanted to give you a feel of how I attack the problems or how I attack the previous year question papers. Now, as I have said repeatedly, a good way, or rather one of the best ways to start the entrance exam preparation is solving the previous year examination questions. Now, that is what I have done in these 3-day marathon videos. So I have solved a major portion of MSQE exam questions, then 2018 and sample paper of your CMI, and your sample paper of 2021 of IGIDR. So this is what you have access to. So do not put this to waste. Now I would also like to request you guys. Now this is a request which is something I really want you guys to do, because if you do this thing, you will be making a public good which will be beneficial to your current batch, to you, to the future batches, and also maybe to me, right? Because if, let's say, somewhere down the line you want to refer to a particular question and how I have solved that particular question, you can just go to that particular timestamp of that particular video out of those 12 videos and just click on that portion of the video, right? And that will help you immediately for a revision, and for future batches, even for them it will be beneficial, because maybe they did not attend this live session, they, let's say they were in their graduation, maybe in class 11, 12, so it would help them immensely. And yes, of course, to me it could give some kind of a memory that, let's say I want to refer to a problem, how I have solved it, so it will help me also. So that is a request which I want to make to you guys, because if I spent last 3-4 days in just making those videos, solving maths all along, because see, if I was told to solve mathematics and only mathematics for 3-4 days, and even if I was preparing for an exam like MSQE or CMI data science or IGIDR, I would not have done that. I would have gotten bored. I would have tried solving maybe microeconomics, macroeconomics, and maybe read few magazines or browsed few blogs or watched few YouTube videos, but I did not do that. I just solved mathematics. So a good way to return that favor would be to make timestamps for your current batch, for you, and for future batches, and that would be something beneficial to a lot of people. And yes, that is something which I believe would help the community of people preparing for these exams. Yes, one more thing is that as I have spent so much of time, mental effort and physical effort into it, I have one more request. Do not forget to like those videos if you are watching those videos. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done already, and also do share it with your friends. I know a lot of you guys have many friends who are preparing for these exams. So share in your WhatsApp groups, share in your Facebook status, share in the inboxes of your people, DM them on Instagram or Twitter, or maybe whatever social media sites which you use these days. If you have any more query about how to use these videos, and how can you do a better time stamping, do put in the comment and tell you how to proceed ahead. But yes, don't miss out on watching these videos, because this is something very invaluable, and you will never get this kind of resource I mean on YouTube. And I believe that nobody will take this kind of pain to solve so many questions in just 3-4 days, and that too live, because people generally are too insecure about these things. And yes, I'm not an expert in mathematics that I was very confident. I was not, and I just went there and I did my best. So that is all.